I know we've already sort of run over, but I want to give each of you just about a minute or so for any final closing remarks, any nugget you'd like to leave our attendees with today. I know we've covered a lot of material, and just some final words if you'd like to share them. Cary, we'll start with you.
Yeah, sure. As an economist, as a labor economist, one of the outstanding questions I think that we are really delving into is what is the future of work? And I think when you think of the independent contractor issue, and particularly the adoption of technologies, prime examples, the multi-sided platforms that Rob talked about, the nature of work is very much changing. And you have more flexibility. Workers are demanding more flexibility, more control over their lives, and so forth. So this is a nexus of a changing economy, a changing society, and how government responds to it, and how the legal system responds to it. So I don't have all the answers. I'm somebody who has more questions than answers sometimes, but this is, it's exciting to see what's going to happen.
Wonderful. Thank you so much to Mr. Cary Elliott for being with us. Let's turn now to Rob. Any final thoughts for our attendees?
I think Jonathan said something really important. Think about why you're doing a model. Or if you're doing it just to push off costs and payroll taxes, that's going to be a model that fails. If you're doing it to say, look, I want to have a business partnership where we're going to provide a model and an opportunity for people to make decisions and to grow, those are models that are successful because they mutually benefit both parties. And, so think about it. Think about what nature of control that you want to exercise, could exercise, or should exercise, and follow that out. Make sure that the people that are on the ground are actually implementing your model on a day-to-day basis. You need to talk to them and make sure they're not doing things that eventually could show up in a lawsuit as a problem. Just because you can call somebody, there's always a question of whether you should, for example, to deal with an issue. And try to follow it as a business to business. I'll kick it over to Jonathan.
Jonathan. Yeah, Jonathan, final thoughts from you?
Well, thank you. I mean, I think both Cary and Rob have very important insights. Work is changing. The 21st century is not the 20th or the 19th or the 18th. All of our law and independent contractor status really comes from master and servant and the guilds and ancient England, and it doesn't apply anymore. One of the fascinating things about employment law to me has always been that you have an opportunity to determine what the facts of your circumstance will be. We have a set of circumstances. We want to establish a business. How are we going to organize it? How are we going to make sure that the organization stays true to the principles we've laid down? I think Rob and Cary have given you a lot of remarkably good tools for thinking about that and for making sure that if you want to do something on an independent contractor basis, you're able to do it. It flows from your vision. It flows from market circumstances. One of the things none of us have had a chance to talk about is what's the impact of a tight labor market on the way in which you have availability of people. How does that play into the whole independent contractor story? We're going to see changes throughout the course of the next several years in all of this as tests come and go. But at the end of the day, if you take a look at what Resolution Economics has been able to lay out for you in terms of tests, and you think about some of the big cases that we've talked about, I think you'll have a bead on what the future is likely to look like and what the questions are you ought to be asking yourselves.